We live in a world that is increasingly chaotic, and every day, parts of our lives, there are issues and questions out there that we cannot answer, that we can't deal with. So it's nice to know for me, there's a place that once a week I can come and be around like-minded people. Together we can find some solace from some of those things that plague us, and together we get to work not just to get away from it, but to find solutions and find answers and work together. Because I think, as the church, when we work together and try to work on some of these issues, it helps us create the community that we all need.
And I have to go back to the worship. I think the whole aspects of worship, the various pieces that are inherent in our worship, is life-giving for me. It allows me to be inspired. It allows me to find strength in what's happening. It allows me to learn. It allows me to do the kind of introspections that I'm always concerned about doing, because living the Christian life is really a difficult thing to do. There are times, as I've said, where the music is most inspiring, and that's what I may well need. There are times where the lessons and the other things are essentially what I need. There are times with a sermon. There's times where I need to be forgiven in the prayers and the peace. All these pieces sort of make for me the kind of strength that I need to proceed to the next day or the next week.
School, say more about that.
I had a nice teacher last year. Way better than my first grade teacher. School donuts.
Having the kids go to school. This has been an exciting year for our family, and I was really amazed and touched by the number of people that reached out, even though sometimes it's really hard for me to pick up a phone. It was just really, it was really wonderful to know that many people noticed and cared.
Steve and I met and married here 19 years ago, and for the past 7 years, although the church was a big part of our life up to then, the last 7 years, it's been amazing to have the kind of loving support that we've had from St. John's during multiple cancers. And then I would say the last couple of years that we especially appreciated all the hoops that St. John's jumped through to allow us to pray together and stay connected.
Well, one of the things when the pandemic first started, one of the life-giving things was just having more time to focus on my music personally, not having to show up somewhere and go to school or come to church, but just to have some time to really think about my own musicianship and a lot of extra practice time. That was great. And then in more recent months, the return to in-person services and really hearing the congregation sing just reminded me why I do what I do. I've written about that in the Eagle a few times, but that's why I'm an organist. It's not to play, awesome music. It's really just to be with the congregation on Sunday morning. That's the continuing, and because we didn't have that for a while, the renewed energy that I got this year especially.
Well, at least for me, I would say that this year has been difficult in terms of dealing with mental health issues for some of our family members, and knowing that there was a fountain of prayer, not just at St. John's, but in the world, has helped me and sustained me and gotten me through.
And then in our Africa program, there have been a huge number of holy coincidences that have happened and are happening now. Where they're going to lead, we're not sure, but could be quite exciting for making medicines in Africa for Africans. We may be able to do that, which was one of our original goals, or we're getting a lot closer. restarted. Our company is doing well. The Africa is doing well. I've gotten a bunch of research grants. Our family is doing well generally. So I'm very thankful.
I think this weird time that we're in has given me a wonderful opportunity to see God in different ways and in different spaces. I've seen God in the way of the quiet presence of being separate from each other. Those quiet times that have always been important to me have taken on a deeper meaning. I've seen God as people have helped each other during the pandemic in small and in large ways. I've seen God as we communicate with people who are poorly housed, and how they share how God is moving in their lives reminds me of the work of God in the world.
I think one of the big things that's been life-giving to me and my family is that when we have the youth and family services and seeing the kids all together and them excited to see each other. Other places I've been very life-giving is actually seeing so many people at worship or on Zoom worship, but actually coming back into the space was so life-giving. And coming back to St. John's after having done sabbatical at home was probably the biggest life-giving thing for me in the last few months.
So I love teaching. I love discovering things. Usually I'm the last person to discover them, but I love discovering things and then sharing that with people. So we've been having this class on the Christian story as vocation on Tuesday nights, and that's just been really, really fun for me. I hope that the folks who are coming are enjoying it, but it's been really, really life-giving to me. And I just love that. I love ideas. I love playing with ideas. Doing that gives me life, and I don't usually have enough time to do it. So when I get a chance to do that, particularly in ministry, it's really, really fun for me.
My birthday's coming up, Halloween's coming up, and my dad's birthday, I think, is really soon. Did it already have? I don't know. But it's close. And then, yeah, so a lot of parties.
So aside from new life in the form of Ellie, we've seen God's work within the St. John's community through their generosity when Ellie was born. So when we were home taking care of newborn, it was so nice to receive donations, to have meals just brought to our door, and we were so thankful for the generous gifts from St. John's. And so we had some St. John's folks came by to our front door and gave us sweet baby gifts and met Ellie from a safe distance.
And Ellie's been liking church. Yeah, she's been a few times now. Plays with a collection of toys and feels so welcomed by everyone in the congregation. Yeah, yeah, sometimes you interrupt, but it's always positive, joyful interruptions, right?
I've seen God in my life for the joy of the years that I had with Steve and the kind of love and care that I feel from everyone, for him and for me. So God has definitely been present.
I'm not sure where, in a sense, where God is calling me to go at the moment. I guess I'm still discerning. Serving allows me to wait and think through just what may be my next calling, at least in terms of working, in terms of where God may be calling me to go. Maybe the waiting itself may be an important part of preparing and looking for the next challenge.
And my friends, because they make me happy, and in the church.
Well, I really love what I do, Even when I'm so busy, I have to keep reminding myself that I'm very fortunate to do something that I love to do, and even when it's sometimes too much in terms of the number of hours per day and days per week, that I am fortunate and I'm treated well. I love working with young kids, and they are a never-ending source of energy. I enjoy the tradition and ritual that our church and our liturgy brings, and that keeps me going because it's a constant in my life. I love the inspiration that we find in our hymnal, both musically and textually. So those are the things that really give me energy and keep me going.
I've seen God showing up as people continue to help each other in our community with the response that people had to the George Floyd Memorial, that they responded quickly to bring it back to its beauty and reminder of what it is and why it's there. I've seen it in my kids' laughter with their friends. And also, this might seem weird, but I've even seen it in the connections where neighbors are actually out walking again and talking amongst each other. I really see God's presence there.
I see God at work in our children and the voices they make. It's almost music as we preach, and the children make sounds that are unintelligible for words, but they're just beautiful. They add to the atmosphere of those around us. There is so much of God at work, and I am so appreciative that I get to be a part of it.
There we go.
There we go.